Breaking news, we've just gotten these pictures of the working session between President Trump and the other G7 members, and we're getting this news. We were just telling you about how the president had said, you know what, we should consider bringing Russia back into the fold and making it the G8 again. Well, now we get this. German Chancellor Angela Merkel is saying European Union countries have agreed, no. The conditions for a return of Russia to the G7 have not been met. Of course, we just finished telling you about what had happened in 2014, where Russia had bitten off a chunk of the Ukraine, Crimea, the Crimea Peninsula, and that was not welcome at all by the G8, so they kicked Russia out. Can't just do it, they said. You can't just take somebody else's land at that point. And so at the moment, Angela Merkel is saying European Union does not agree with President Trump. Russia will remain outside of this group, and it will get the cold shoulder. Our next guest not only strongly condemns President Trump's tariff decision, meaning adding tariffs to the European Union, Canada, and, of course, Mexico, but fears we are alienating what could be our biggest allies in a much bigger trade dispute. We welcome the current European Union ambassador to the United States, David O Sullivan, in a Fox Business exclusive. Ambassador, can I get first your thoughts on what Angela Merkel has said about what the president pulled out of nowhere earlier this morning before he left Washington, D.C. for the summit, and that was, hey, we should consider bringing Russia back into the G7 fold?
Well, good afternoon, Liz, and thanks for having me back on the show. I'm not entirely surprised by what Chancellor Merkel said. The G7 is above all else a club of common values, and there were very good reasons why Russia was disinvited from what had become the G8 after what happened in Crimea and subsequent Russian intervention in eastern Ukraine. Unfortunately, I don't think those conditions have changed. The reasons at the origin of the decision remain what they are, and I think really this was a strong commitment not to receive Russia back into the G7 to make it the G8 again, unless and until they have fixed the problems they have created for Ukraine and for the international community by their actions.
Well, before we move on to that, fixing it, define that. Does it mean giving Crimea back to Ukraine? Can you put that genie back in the bottle?
Well, there are two issues here. One is trying to put an end to Russia's interference in the eastern provinces of Ukraine, and there is the Minsk process run by France and Germany with Russia and Ukraine, and unfortunately there Russia has not been sufficiently cooperative to bring that to a successful conclusion. And of course there is still the pending issue of Crimea. None of us have recognized the illegal annexation of Crimea by Russia, and this poses a fundamental problem for our future relations. Yeah,
it's turning into a rather disastrous situation in Crimea. A lot of these people are actually wanting to go back into the Ukraine fold at the moment. But let's get to the summit here. How do you view this? You say that there's a misconception about what's going on as it pertains to tariffs. I don't know how much clearer it can be, certainly to at least some of the American people, when they look and they see that, for example, foreign cars from Europe, Mercedes, BMW, Volkswagen, are coming into our country and they are taxed at 2.5%. Whereas American cars going into Europe are taxed at 10% by the European Union. So tell me what we're misconceiving here.
Well, I think the first thing is that the EU and the US are normally the good guys of international trade, the ones who play by the rules, the ones who made the rules, and the ones who profit most from that international system. And we believe that both the US and the European Union are fair traders. You cite the example of auto tariffs, but I could cite you the example of light truck tariffs, which is a very important segment of the US auto market, where your tariffs are 25% and our tariffs are 14%. These are tariffs which were decided in the WTO in 1994. They reflected our respective priorities at that time. You can selectively choose one or other tariff if you wish, but in fact average tariffs in the European Union are around the same as they are for the United States. So I think, and we have been willing and offered to sit down with the United States and discuss issues between us in trade on the understanding, and including the possibility of going to zero on industrial tariffs, on the understanding that this would be a two-way street. So I think this is not the major issue, that we do not understand why these steel and aluminium tariffs have been imposed. Steel and aluminium exports from Europe, the European Union, to the United States do not pose any threat to national security in the United States or even to economic security in the United States. So we think this is an unfortunate step step which has provoked a crisis between us in these trade issues, when in fact we should be focusing on growing trade between us and addressing common problems we have with the unfair traders such as China.
I would agree with you there. Absolutely. Ambassador, thank you very much for joining us. And I think it is important what the ambassador pointed out. We keep hearing about the auto tariffs, but the light truck issue, yeah, there's some movement on both sides that could be made. Thank you, Ambassador. Please come again.
Thank you very much.
Anytime.